Hello, everyone. Let's get this jam going until this goes out. It is live. Hello, guys. Come on in. Just gonna jam for a little bit to get people time to come in. Get this vibe going. While we're waiting, for those that are on, can you please do me a favor? Can you share the link to other people that can get on or that you feel may be pertinent information for them? The more the merrier. Okay. Thank you guys for coming in. It looks like we may have a substantial amount of people on right now. For those of you who know me or don't know me, my name is Sandra Stinson. I am a licensed real estate professional. I've been in the real estate industry for over 25 years. I used to be a owner of one of the top real estate companies, which is Keller Williams Realty, for years. And so I've gone on to do other things, although I still do sell property. But I just wanted to take a different avenue when it comes to real estate, because there are a lot of things that buyers or consumers just don't know when it comes to the market. So when I decided to do these segments in reference to attorneys, I did it because I felt that it was a general need for it, and I also did it because it was something that was near and dear to my heart and something personal that I had actually gone through myself. And for people to know that you are in the industry, anybody that is basically licensed is basically held to a certain standard, and if that standard is not met at that point, there are all different types of repercussions. But although that may be there as a limitation to doing something inappropriate where you can put your license at jeopardy, some people often still do it because they feel, they can do it. So I wanted to do these segments because I wanted people to understand the realistic things that go on in this world that they otherwise don't even know about. And I want to thank social media, because a lot of people have been in art as it pertains to social media. So for those people that have that talent, that have that information, it is our responsibility to bring it forth and bring it to the public. To corrupt real estate. Today is going to be my second segment as it pertains that do litigation or just any real estate attorney. But we're going to be talking about real estate litigation attorneys for the simple fact. So if you have not, or if you were not here for the first segment, I recommend you do is definitely go back to that segment to listen to that so you can pick up to where we're going with this, because each time this is going to be a story that's going to be told that's going to result in something huge. It's definitely going to be a book that's going to be associated with it. And I'm happy that you guys are going to be here from the beginning, so you will be able to understand exactly where I was going and what happened. So last week, just briefly, we went over real estate as it pertains to attorneys as it pertains to real estate. So let me say this. In doing any real estate transaction, you should have an attorney that is involved to read the contracts and to make sure that the transfers that are being transferred are free of liens, free of encroachment, and that the person that's actually selling it is the seller who's authorized to sell it. Quite often, we find that that is not the case, and there are people that are acting as the seller, selling property, but because you remove the closing attorney, they didn't have the opportunity to do their due diligence. So when you have a closing attorney that is involved in the transaction, what they do is they scrub it. They make sure that when you close at the closing table, that is a clear title. And what that means is they also warrant the work that they did on that title. So it is a title search that they actually do to make sure that that person is the seller, and that they did the transfer, meaning no clouds, meaning no probates that might not have been probated properly. Be possibly hinder the transfer or cause a problem is considered to be a cloud. So when you hear a cloud, just think of something that is opposing to the sale or the transfer of the property. Okay? And when they do this scrub or this title search, they're now going to offer you a life insurance policy for a fee. And they're going to say, if in the event a 1,000-year-old Indian, listen, a 1,000-year-old Indian, says that is my land, I did not get the authorization to sell it, and I want my land back. So every state varies and everything changes. I'm just telling you something general because when we have licenses, my license is in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia. So I'm licensed in 3 states. You also have some attorneys that are licensed in whatever state. So you have to do state licensing because every state law is different. So right now, I'm just speaking about a law in particular or a state in particular. So that when these transfers go over and they offer this title policy and that 1,000-year-old Indian come back and say that's my land, now the title company who did the search and did the transfer and signed off saying everything was met properly, they confidently give you a policy and sell you a policy, and they say any discrepancies that pop up, you come and you call us. Okay? So that's why it is very important that you keep a title agent or a closing attorney a part of your transactions, particularly the for sale by owners. You know, they all think that, you know, they might have closed 1 or 2 transactions, but I'm here to tell you, I've been in this industry for about 25 years now, and no one transaction is the same. So we have continuing education every year that we have to meet, and it's a requirement that we do that. So why do they do that? Because laws and requirements change. So although you may be savvy with doing transfers when it comes to properties, that's fine, you know, but the law does change, and you want to make sure that you're not doing yourself a disservice. And the buyer, you don't even have to pay for a real estate agent. So as a buyer, a consumer, you should always have a licensed real estate professional that's assisting you in your transaction, because again, they are licensed, they are bonded, and they are in this industry, and they should basically know the job. Now, I'm not saying to get an agent that just came in and they may not know, but then a buyer, that's up to you to also do your due diligence to make sure that you are getting a qualified agent. Everything is qualified. You need someone that's qualified. Think about a surgery that you have to get. You want to get the person with the most experience that's a subject matter expert. Make that be your aim with any and everything that you have going on, that you want the person that's at the top, okay? So now, in addition to me saying about the title search and going over and it may have a cloud upon it, in our state, in the state of Tennessee, that is exactly how they do. Now, if I could just give you a scenario real quick, a client called me and said that he needed to sell his property. And selling his property, at that point, his son had passed away. So probate, which is what you are supposed to do, you are supposed to probate if the person has any property, anything monetary. How about that? That needs to be documented and needs to go to the rightful heir. That rightful heir could be a spouse, that rightful heir could be a child, that rightful heir could be a parent or whoever or whatever they may have in their will. But if I can move right along, so the father probated his son's estate, and we put the house on the market, got a contract, went to closing, and the title company said, we have a problem. Was the decedent, the person that's deceased, was he married? So the dad said he was married, but they are no longer married, you know, whatever. So guess what they had to do? They had to do their due diligence to check the state records to see if there was a marital license. If they was divorced, they had to check to see if they was divorced. So come to find out, they were still married, although she had remarried. It didn't matter, she was still married to the decedent. So then at that point, guess what happened? She now had to be added to the transaction. So the dad who was given authorization to take care of the probate was now taken off, and now the wife was added, and that's what he had 2 children with her. So now all 3 of them was taking over the estate of the son. So although it was one property, and the dad, he ceded in a situation, everything like the dad had. So this is what I mean when I certain state they weren't with that. This is in South Carolina. He had anytime someone they were in time passes away to whoever the next speak in particular. Okay, although it is the estate, anything you have to is the courts in line. They are now supposed to probate at that person to the decedent, which is the person that owns, they will go, go to the grandmother, go through the documents, and now move forward to collect everything that was owed. So just had to tell you what happened. In my case, when her husband passed away, not at all. He was when probated is supposed to be. And also, when you do the probate, maybe land, bank account, and it was the children and the heirs of the individual, but that didn't happen. Again, you are supposed to see in everything. It's not going to list any property because they don't have that. It did not have some. So he did. So it shows you a married widow name being there, the name down as being, well, there's a wife. So he put the brother down, and let me tell you another thing. A few months later, maybe 8 months later, my grandfather, his mother passed away. So the same brother went to the syndic. He was now a probate judge. Although my grandfather had passed away like 8 months, and did the same thing in particular months. Now, anything that on the burial, you know, so the individuals is amazing, but actually purchase, then right, is this in my grandfather's name, it was elevated. You have a stance. The property at this point is going to be no problems. Okay. Let me get that up for y'all. Max. So although they didn't illegal it, but clearly there was some practices that were taking place. Risking, was the judge involved? Is the livelihood. What will be random person? The whole purpose of the judge came in because what was a random person going to be extremely. What would be the extremely interesting reason and why he would you? So one of the biggest things. Well, he wasn't a random person. So lawyers, litigation, so all of this is things that has happened, and this is why this is entirely corrupt. So many people right back what was taken from you. And this is commercial property. This is residential property. So just think about it. Months ago, a lot of the properties may be dilapidated, and then what is happening is they've gone on to okay, guys, I have no idea what happened, but I was getting a call. But again, I just want to take a quick break real quick. I need you guys to, we're not the only ones. You're going to be surprised how many people are actually dealing and going through something similar where you have your family members that have actually stolen your property from you, your inheritance, your investments from their deceased brother or sister or mother or father. This is extremely, very, very common. So if you could possibly share the link, not possibly, but it's for free. Share the link. All of this information is definitely going to be for free. If you stay to the end of the live, I try not to drag it on too long. You're going to have the option to get a home staging checklist. Okay, if you're deciding that you need to sell your property and you're gonna also get additional information. You will also get a buyer's questionnaire that is also going to assist you as well in the buying process. You're also going to get that as it pertains to those that are looking at purchasing. Okay? So I'm going to move on real quick. I know there were some comments that came through. Okay. So what happened is, now the problem is, let's just say the innocent person that actually purchased that property. The innocent person that actually purchased the property that was sold to them by someone who didn't even have the income to sell it. Now hopefully, the title company that did the transfer, hopefully they did a title search. If they had done a title search, they're going to have a life insurance policy that's going to protect them from that house. But let me tell you what I've been finding. I've been finding that on the document, the attorney will say no title search or title work performed. That means that Betty came in and said that she is the owner and she wants to sell this property, and the closing attorney said, okay, do you have a buyer? Okay, so let's sign on the dotted line and that's it. That's how they do it in the Carolinas, and that's why it is very, very sketchy. I'm really, really shocked that they even still today allow them to do that, because keep in mind, a lot of property that's from the South were people that were in slavery time. So if your family was from the South, chances are, and if you don't have anything pertaining to the family's lineage, your great-great-grandparents, chances are the person that's still down there, they have their mouth shut and they are raking in the dollars and all of the investments, whether that may be commercial. And let me just tell you another thing that they was doing in the South. They did a lot of tobacco farming. Just think about that. Back then, right, it was slavery time, and after slavery ended, it doesn't mean that what the plantations were producing was no longer being produced. They were being produced. They are getting monetary, a dollar amount for the produce and whatever that they was cutting, because they made agreements with these companies to come in and to either use their land or either buy the products. Use the land or buy the products. So that's what's been happening when it comes to the Carolinas. Now in our case, we hired an attorney 3 times, the same attorney. We hired the same attorney 3 times, and each and every time that attorney said, we hit a brick wall and we can't find anything and we can't whatever. So then, like I said, I've been in this industry for 25 years, so I just started doing my own due diligence and just doing my own search, because that's just what I do. And I found that, right, there is property with my grandmother, my grandfather, and my mother's name on it, that the family has transferred over. So had the title company or the closing attorney did a search, they would have said, where are these individuals that's down right here? So this is where the deceit comes in, because you are paying these attorneys a high dollar value. They are either charging you $300 an hour. So number one, they're committing fraud. They sign you in and says that they have a fiduciary duty to work at the best interest of you. They are not supposed to do anything illegal as it pertains to it. And if it's a conflict of interest, they have to let you know up front. But guess what I've been finding? That it is a conflict of interest. They are either family members that are attorneys that, I don't know. And then I later come to find out that they are on some of the paperwork. They are on some of the paperwork. So when they said that we're sorry We're happy that you came to our law firm for us to assist you in this matter, but at this particular point, we've hit a dead road, and we don't have anything, we haven't been able to find anything. But let me just tell you the amazing thing. Right before we hired them 3 years in a row, before one of the hires, they had actually just did a probate and transferred over some of the land to one of the family members. So they risk. So this has been going on for years. And like I said, it started with the judge with the probate. So I'm here is getting on live on a Sunday evening, and they are trying to keep you informed as to process, and sometimes it don't work like the process. And when it comes to money, money changes things and change people. They will kill, they will break laws for a permanent thing. Now, the ones that have already passed away, they feel it was the biggest coup that they pulled off, and they can rest in peace. But guess who won't be resting? Their grandkids, their kids and their grandkids won't be able to now, and some of them are even finding out who their grandparents actually are. Because how can you take a widow and 2 orphan kids and rob from them and keep them in poverty? In poverty. They were the poorest millionaires and didn't know it. But everyone around them, everyone around us, they knew. So when they look at us strange, we now know why they looked at us strange. Because they're saying to themselves, if they only knew what they have or what they had. My mother was a single mother of 11, raising 11 kids, and she did very well at that. But she was a millionaire and didn't know it. But her cousins, her aunts, they profited. Everything that my mother did not have, that she should have had due to her inheritance, they shared in that. And everything that my mother's children didn't have, their children had it. Their children had it. So our whole life basically has been a complete lie as it pertains to this heir property. And it is so much that not in one lifetime, because they're gone. And it's still going. So in their lifetime, they couldn't enjoy it. They couldn't enjoy it. Because you only have a short span of time. So now here we are. My mother's passed on, 78. This has been going on since she was maybe 3 or 4. Right after her dad passed away. After her dad passed away, they all felt that it was necessary. And I think my grandmother at the time might have had maybe 9 or 10 siblings. And she was kind of like the youngest, and her mother had passed away at an early age. But it just goes to show that you as an individual, you have an obligation where you have to do your due diligence and you have to do your research. You cannot rely on what these people are telling you. Now, I wasn't even experienced with a system, and I just went in and typed in a few things, and a few things came up. Now, even my mom, it was just her and her sister. So we found that my mom's nieces and nephews, they done got in on the game. They done got in on the game. So they're coming to us acting like they are like us, like we can't believe that these people did that. And they are these people as well. They are these people as well. Immediately when their mother passed away, they wouldn't even come and see my mother. So we're like, what is going on? What's going on? Because they knew then. So the question remains, my mother's sister knew. My mother's sister knew. So that's the saddest thing. So again, this been going on for my mother's whole life, 70-something years. 70-something years. And so I have something better for you. I'm not done, far from being done. My father passed away 30-something years. And so guess what they did to us? The same thing. So that's where the unethical attorneys are coming in, because when I hired an attorney to assist 18 months ago, it yielded me nothing but a bill, because she was just, it was a con. It was a con. So you have to be careful, and you have to do your due diligence when it comes to working with professionals. Now, the only thing is, that's her specialty. That's what she's licensed in. So when you're licensed, you have an insurance, and you have an obligation and a responsibility. The reason why she's in the game, it definitely wasn't to assist me. But maybe there were several reasons why. But I'm only coming to one. She didn't assist me. And then she lied about it on top of that. So it's just thievery and corruption that's all over. So who can you trust? So now it's almost like you have to go to social media, because now you need to get the word out. And that's why I said right now, this is a story I'm happy you guys are here, and I want you all to follow. Because my mother and my grandmother's story will definitely be told, it will be written. And at this particular point, 2024, the reckoning shall begin. Has begun. The reckoning has begun. So right now, everybody is running and scurrying. Why? Because they all had their hand in the pot. So my mother needed to struggle, and my grandmother needed to pass on in an old folks home. And she was a millionaire. Right after her husband, she never remarried. Just two. And it's just shameful. So, again, because these laws are in place, I am going to do everything possible, feasibly possible, to exercise every right as a consumer, as an heir, for my mother, my grandmother, and my grandfather. And for any and everybody that get caught with their tail between their legs, that's their problem. And this is the crazy thing. They did family reunions all the time. My mother loved her family. My mother did any and everything to travel with all of her kids, to go in a vehicle, to go in a car from all the way to the south. While they were down there building houses, putting their names on streets, collecting proceeds from commercial investments and residential investments. And then whatever deals they had with whatever company that was out there, which may be, an electric company or a gas company. It goes on and on. Not to mention the produce from the plantation that they were selling, when it comes to LLCs, my family's been dealing with LLCs since the 20s. And this is all not allegedly, because everything that I have is pertinent, is facts, and it's in black, and it's in white. So I am here to say, do your due diligence, be wary, because there is a beast out here. And it's really, really unfortunate that if you cannot rely on your family, who can you rely on? And it's so weird that my grandmother and my mother, they were always very, very guarded, and they never really trusted people to a certain extent. They might have trusted siblings, But when it came to their siblings, kids, and all of this other stuff, because as times change, people change. But the sad thing is, it was her siblings that actually did it to her. These are preachers, evangelizers as they call themselves. Go to church, preach, and then they tell you robbers, fornicators, this and that will not inherit God's kingdom. How could they do this act, know that their sister was struggling, and then go on to live a lavish lifestyle and build a lifestyle for themselves, their children, and their children's children? Because at this point, it's probably their children's children, and some of them children. So for them, some of them is 3 generations down. But my mother just recently passed. She knew what was happening towards the end. But I couldn't tell her too much, only because I didn't want to, upset her, because she was, transitioning. But she told me to find out, and that's what I've done. I found out. And it's sad, and it is so. But what I want is, I would love for you guys again to share, hit the bell. My intentions is to be here every Sunday, and as things progress and move forward, I am going to tell my story, and I'm just going to let you guys know what you should be looking out for, because it's very, very important. And make it your business to know your family heritage. Go through ancestry. If you may need to take a trip, if you have elderly grandparents or great-grandparents that are still around, you may want to talk to them and have a conversation with them. You may want to talk to them and have a conversation with them, because when they leave, it's going to leave with them. And if they have anything written down, if it's not in your favor, that document is going to vanish. So I'm here to just tell you that. But this is my story. I'm sticking to it. And I want you guys to stay tuned. And I want you all to stay tuned in. If you are interested in the home staging checklist, just enter checklist in the chat, and I will send it to you. If you're interested in the questionnaire for the buyers, the same thing, just hit buyer's questionnaire, and I will send that to you as well. Everything is going to be in color, so it's going to be a download. So anytime you are here, you're going to get great information that's going to be extremely, extremely useful to you. I am always just a source. I've been doing this for 25 years, like I said. Real estate, I love it. New construction is my niche. And just giving people that opportunity to be able to purchase what they can afford, where they want it, is my job. So see, I'm in the industry because I am here to help educate people, and I am here to get people to their goal. Not to be in this game to make it into a con so that I can take advantage of people. That's not my story. But again, like and subscribe. Hit the home stage if you're a seller. Hit the buyer's questionnaire. And even if you're not trying to buy right now, or as far as the staging, the information is always great. So I will definitely have more information for you guys. If you haven't seen segment 1, please check out segment 1. And thank you all, and good night, and have a great next week. And if there's that you want me to talk about, if there's any questions that you may have, just send them on over, and I will answer those as well. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it.